Whenever I start a project, there's probably a good 2 to 3 years prior to the physical starting of a project where I'm just collecting things. I don't really know
Mm.
why I'm collecting them. They just are objects of interest, is kind of what the umbrella term is. It's like, I just like them and I'm going to collect them. I think that I started collecting them in the beginning for this particular project. Um, because my love of painting, for one, and faux finishing is about painting, and also the ecological factors is that there were certain types of brushes, like the good quality brushes I took very good care of. And to date, I really only used like one of those brushes because all those brushes are still in use. And the ones that I use for these projects tend to be ones that I can't really reuse for painting purposes per se. And they're basically ruined as like brushes.
Right.
I don't really know, for any given project, but specifically the paintbrushes. It was just very near and dear to my heart, the subject matter, and I love the sort of self-referential nature of it, of being like the tool, the object, and the concept of like the working woman, and being like a tool of creation of some kind, because usually paintbrushes, you're taking nothing there and turning it into something there at the end of the day. And I like the kind of cyclical nature of being able to take something that was new and then is old and then is dead and then is revived. And there's just a funny joke about it for me, of being something of a certain type of, it's a value systems actually.
Mm.
It's you see it as like, oh well, it's whatever, it's a mass produced, that those things, really, I love mass produced things because they don't have any real value,
Mm.
generally speaking. And not when they were new, definitely not when they were old. And I felt really guilty about throwing away certain types of things that would get thrown away all the time, because they're kind of one use brushes. Those bristle brushes from China tend to not be usable, reusable all that often, depending on what type of paint substrate that I used. So I was just kind of collecting it. I don't know. I think it was just eco guilt, to be honest. But yeah, so it was very much steeped in that, wanting to find new ways of seeing and using things. And I've always been someone who uses the scraps of my last project for my next project.